Today we're diving into something pretty cool, a model for understanding the hidden forces that are running our lives. The things that shape our decisions, our reactions, our whole personality. It's called System 19, and you can think of it as a user manual for your own mind.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? Why do you react the way you do in certain situations? Where do your deepest fears and biggest dreams actually come from? Is it your past? Your childhood? Something else entirely? Well, this System 19 model, it gives us a fascinating map to start finding some of those answers.
So according to this model, who you are right now is basically the product of 5 specific forces. Imagine you've got 3 powerful engines running inside of you, and 2 external shapers that kind of programmed those engines from the very beginning. So let's start by popping the hood and looking at those internal engines.
Okay, first up, let's look inward. The model says we each have 3 distinct inner engines, and each one is laser-focused on a different part of time: your past, your present, and your future.
Let's begin with the past. This model places this engine right in your gut. And I want you to think of your gut not just as a place that digests food, but as your body's living, breathing archive for emotional experiences. It's literally where your personal history is stored.
And the processing power here is just incredible. I mean, your gut has 500 million neurons. That's 5 times more than your entire spinal cord. Its job is to digest emotional memories, and it's where trauma, fear, and all those deep-seated habits get stored. It's basically your personal story factory, constantly feeding narratives about your past up to the rest of your system.
All right, next up is the future engine. This one is located in your brain's frontal lobe. So if the gut is the archive where all the old files are kept, the frontal lobe is the projection screen. Its main job is to constantly simulate what might happen next.
Now, this engine isn't just making up futures out of thin air. No way. It takes the data, all the stories, the fears, the patterns from your gut, and it uses that material to create these inner movies of what could happen. It's your inner designer, building simulations of your biggest hopes and your deepest fears, all based on what you've already lived through.
And that brings us to the third engine, and honestly, maybe the most important one, the present engine. The model places this one in the heart. This is your real-time command center. It's the seat of your present moment awareness, and it's where your real-time decisions get made. See, this engine is totally unique. It has about 40,000 specialized neurons that act like a little mini-brain. And here's the key: it operates only in the now. It's not lost in old stories from the past or anxieties about the future. Its whole job is to be the judge and selector, using clarity and intuition to make the best possible choice in this exact moment.
Okay, so we've got our 3 inner engines, but you have to wonder, what programmed them in the first place? Well, now we're going to look at the 2 powerful external forces, the 2 lines that literally built the foundation for your entire operating system.
This quote from the source material is the key to this whole next part. It basically says that until we become consciously aware of this system, we are just walking, talking reflections of these 2 external forces. So the first external force is nature. Now hold on, this is not what you might think. In this system, we're not talking about genetics or DNA. Nature here means your physical environment, everything outside your body that shaped your experience of the world. Just think about it for a second. The homes you lived in, the culture you grew up in, the language you spoke. Were your surroundings safe or were they dangerous? All of these things directly programmed your past engine's archive. They taught your entire system what to expect from the world and what you needed to do to survive in it. And the second external force is the nurturer. This refers to your primary guardian, a parent or a caregiver, the person who essentially created your emotional blueprint. This is the person who programmed your internal world. Think of this as your emotional diet when you were a kid. What were you fed? Was it love or rejection, discipline or neglect, a sense of warmth and safety, or a background of fear? This emotional conditioning directly wired your gut and heart engines, creating the core patterns for how you relate to yourself and, well, to everyone else. So now we have all 5 pieces on the board, the 3 inner engines and the 2 outer shapers. So how do they actually work together? Well, it all comes down to this constant dynamic feedback loop that is running your life probably this very second. So here's how that loop works. It all starts with the past engine, your gut, sending up all those stored stories and emotional data. Your future engine, the frontal lobe, catches that data and immediately starts creating projections from it. And then those projections, those inner movies, are sent to the present engine, your heart, which has to judge them and select what to do next. And this is why the state of your past engine is so incredibly important. Look at the left side. If your gut is heavy with undigested trauma, it sends up tangled negative stories. The brain then creates these anxious, fearful projections, which leads to a confused and conflicted heart. But look at the right. When the gut is clean and clear, it sends up good data, the projections are creative and hopeful, and that leads to a calm, peaceful heart. See the difference?
Okay, this brings us to the whole point of understanding this system. I mean, knowing the map is one thing, but the real goal here is to use it to move from being just a passenger in your own life to becoming the driver. It's about making that shift from living on automatic to living in awareness.
And just look at this transformation. On the left, before you're aware of the system, you're basically a prisoner, a copy of your environment, tangled up in the programming of your past. But on the right, that's after you awaken. You break free. You stop being a victim of your trauma and you become the author of your future. You become the chooser.
If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this sentence. It sums up the entire System 19 model perfectly. Who you are is this amazing combination of your nature, your nurturer, your past engine, your future engine, and, this is the most important part, how awake and aware your heart is in the present moment.
So, the map is in your hands now. The old question was, what makes you, you? But the new question, the real question is, with this awareness, who will you choose to become?